The South African Social Security Agency, Sassa, says over 200,000 social grant beneficiaries have actually failed to disclose their alternative income. Those that failed to disclose this were uncovered by Sassa in conjunction with credit bureaus. Joining us is Paseka Letsatsi, the Sassa spokesperson who joins us now. Paseka, thank you so much for the time. Then I don't know if I can just very quickly just start on the story we just did before that. Then in the rise of fraud scams targeting cards and PIN information. Just very quickly, the kind of support that perhaps Sassa will be putting out in a case like this. And the kind of intrigue that, of course, something like this could hold and how much damage it could have as well.
Thanks, Arabile, and we are here just to explain that we have actually experienced or observed this particular kind of fraudulent activity taking place. What we have done as an organization, we have done the visit, we have done beneficiary education, just to try and make sure that we interact with our beneficiary. The intention here is to make sure that we alert them that, as Tammy said there, one, a Sassa official will not call you, or you will not get an SMS or a WhatsApp from us to say, give us your ID number or give us your PIN so that we can then be able to verify you. We just want beneficiaries to be alert, but we indeed cooperate with the councillors, with the traditional leaders to make sure that we penetrate our beneficiaries so that they are alert and aware that they not get duped by the scammers.
Yeah, thank you so much for indulging me on that one then. Well, 210,000 beneficiaries who have not disclosed their other income here. How big a scale is this in comparison to what you've discovered in the past? Is it just a total of 210? Could there possibly even be more?
Currently, we have about 210,000 beneficiaries. When you come to a Sassa office to make an application for a grant, there's a form that you need to disclose a certain information in terms of your income or in terms of your assets. And I think these individuals have been identified that they fail to disclose the change in terms of their income. For an example, Arabil, if you come to a Sassa official or offices to make an application and you are not working, we will then process it and make sure that we approve your grant. However, you are obliged as a client or as a beneficiary, once your conditions changes, you are obliged to make sure that you inform us. And these individuals who are happen to be 210,000 fail to disclose their source of income. But secondly, even when the conditions, their conditions personally changed in terms of employment, they did not come forward and inform the organization that their situation or conditions have changed.
Yeah, some might ask the question, and I'm only playing devil's advocate here, but that actually their form or their source of income is an informal one, and that it isn't necessarily some kind of formal income that they're receiving, and that they're still in need of the assistance from Sassa. How then do you respond to that?
Arabile, we have an information that some of these individuals are public servants. They applied, they got accepted to work as in the public service. And I think those who are public servants, it's easy for us to be able to trace them and attend to them. Unfortunately, it's private citizens that would need to appeal to them so that they're able to come forward. So in terms of what we have seen, when we bounce the information with the bureaus, with the banks, we realize that there is an income that comes consistently in the accounts of these particular individuals. It's not something that happens ad hoc. It is a money that comes from their employer. And we thought that when they were making an application, this was explained, and when they sign, they know that they have to make sure that they disclose. And we just want to emphasize, or I just want to raise this matter, Rabil. What we are doing currently, it's cordial. We need to work hand in hand with these beneficiaries to present themselves to Sassa offices.
So there's currently no legal or policing or some other consequences that is currently happening. Could that be instituted at some later stage?
We are appealing to them, and I think I want to emphasize this. We're appealing to them to come forward and clarify, and the matter gets closed. That's why I said it's cordial. However, I need to warn those particular beneficiaries that if they fail to come forward and rectify the situation, we'll be left with no option, unfortunately, to upscale it. And when we upscale one, it means we must then bring the law enforcement agencies, and we don't want to go to that level, Arabi. Hence, we are appealing to its beneficiaries to please come forward and rectify the matter with us.
I mean, this is a criminal offence then, ultimately, is it not then, Paseka?
Look, Arabile, it may be a criminal offense, but in some instances, you would find that a person did not disclose the amount that they did not disclose. It's 4,000 rand. For us to be able to trace this money, it means we must do tracing, tracking, and we find that someone we spend 50,000 just to make sure that we run after 4,000. That is why we think it's important that we need to have a cordial engagement with them.
Yeah.
But obviously, we understand that if we have to make a drastic decision, we will take it and go after them.
So is your hope then that these 210,000 people will actually come forward, or will you be looking to do further investigations? Will you be actually announcing yourselves to them to say, we know that you're receiving an income, could you please come and disclose it? What exactly happens from this point on?
What I'm saying here, Arabile, is that we are appealing, and we hope that these are people who understand the consequences of their actions, and failure for them to understand that we are extending a hand to make sure that we work together with them. We'll be left with no option, Arabile. One, the grant is suspended as we speak, but if 30 days pass, we are going to permanently cancel the grant, and therefore other steps will escalate and come, and those steps would therefore mean that Sassa will engage the law enforcement agencies, and will definitely be after them, and they will face the consequences of their action.
Yeah. Just very quickly, wanted to talk about the credit bureaus, of course, being the ones who you worked with regards to this then. How tight a communication system is there between the two, Sassa as well as credit bureaus, in order to ascertain this kind of information and for future reference?
It's not only the credit bureau, Arabile. We work with other state organs to be able to help us to get the information. There are those who have businesses. We work with the banks. We have a very positive relationship with the banks, because if in case you are committing a fraud, we are able to pick it up. But in terms of how coordinated our project is, we are able to see, unfortunately, because what people used to do, Arabil, a person will come with a bank X and make an application only to channel a money or of their employee to another bank, thinking in their head that we will not be able to catch them. Unfortunately, our systems currently are such that they are able to check everything, and we have a memorandum of understanding with our sister department, and secondly with the banks and Home Affairs in particular, especially those who are using the fraudulent IDs.
Yeah, and of course we still are dealing with the 11 accused in the Sassa fraud, who of course were in that court situation, tightening the measures, security measures around Sassa. How are you able to do that a little bit more at this pace to also encourage and grow the kind of faith that is instilled in Sassa and its beneficiaries?
Thanks for raising that matter, Arabil. I think what we have done, our fraud management unit presented their strategy to the executives, and it was adopted. And hence, those particular individuals who were arrested in Soweto, you see them, these are the fruits of the strategy as it unfolds. And I think at the end or at the corner of this thing, we just want to actually engage or actually talk to our staff members to refrain or to refuse the temptation to be scammed or to be brought to commit fraud by private individuals. When people come and try to mislead you, try to make sure that you remain vigilant as an organization or as a staff to make sure that we are indeed what we call public servants. We are servants of the people. And we think the strategy which is unfolding is bearing fruit because Arabile, watch the space. There are certain individuals that we have identified. This is just the beginning. We will definitely go after them.
Yeah. Just as a final question, Treasury's new conditions then for social grant administration, how much of a role has that had to play in being able to crack down on these frauds, and then the further implementation then of those measures and conditions?
Yeah, not true. This is one of the strategy when we engage with National Treasury, that you can't keep on asking money only to give money to fraudsters. You must make sure that when money comes to the beneficiaries, it goes to people who are deserving. You can't have a bottomless tip pit where people just think that the money of the state must go down the drain. They can simply steal the money. So we are tightening up our systems to make sure that we close for those who are trying to steal money from the state.
Very significant, very important as well, whether it's within Sassa or certainly outside of it. Paseka Letsatsi, appreciate the time. Thank you so much for joining us then this afternoon and helping us get a further understanding of that. Then the South African Social Security spokesperson there, Paseka Letsatsi, as we talk about 210,000 people being flagged then ultimately as beneficiaries who have not disclosed their income. Sassa saying, please come forward and let us discuss it a little bit further to understand why there is that discrepancy.